ask you a question. Have you ever had an imaginary friend? Have you ever had a gangsta SpongeBob in your room playing with you, trying to help you meet goals in your childhood life? Well, I found a subsect of people on TikTok that do believe that gangsta SpongeBob was real. They need gangsta SpongeBob to be real. He's helped them throughout many things. And it all came from in here. All because they thought hard enough. Today we're talking about tulpas. I was looking through TikTok the other day and I found a few pretty weird videos about people thinking that they have created a thought form by concentrating hard enough on their imaginary friend, and they became real. Oh, gangsta SpongeBob is real! It's very close and adjacent to the spiritual talk or witch talk hashtags that I see going around, of pretty much that emo girl at your workplace that dyed their hair and loves tarot cards too much. Well, today we're gonna look at some of those people and see what they're talking about. See what kind of tulpas they're creating. I really want to get into the head of these people and figure out what makes them want an imaginary friend so bad in their adulthood. I call this TulpaTok. It's very schizo, but it doesn't seem like a lot of these people have actual mental illness. It seems that they're just childish and that they just can't let go of those ideas they had when they were a kid. Ooh, Harry Potter, Wingardium Leviosa. Ooh, what if that was real? What if I could use government technology to put a cloak on myself and become invisible? Enough intro, let's go ahead and take a gander at some of these videos.
This is a certified hood classic.
Hi, my name is Rebecca the Ghost Guide. I do professional cleansings, and I had been running into these things for a little while, but I didn't actually have a name for them until I met this guy. So tell us, Jay, what is a tulpa?
When you have a bunch of different energy...
Oh, wow. I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Like, let's say you have a friend who's really angry all the time. They leave the room, but the anger is still there. We all feel that. That energy collects and condenses. It forms a thought-form spirit, a tulpa. They're not smart. They just feed. And they feed by creating the emotion that created them.
Tell us more.
It's not a bad thing, though. You see them in very happy homes with young children. You also do see them in homes with trauma or abuse or things like that. Different emotions cause these things.
Can these things take physical form?
Absolutely. Sometimes it's just the atmosphere, but yeah, they can take physical form.
By the way, for those who don't know, this is Jay. He's my partner. We also do cleansings together because we have different practices that play off.
That giggle was almost like he just found out they were partners. He just met this girl. He's like, yeah, she won't stop talking to me about tulpas. She won't leave me alone. I just had to play along. Now apparently I'm her partner.
Off each other very well, and you can find out more about that on our website.
You can buy our course and learn how to read tarot and learn how to scam people. It's like, you know, I mean, and him like acting like he knows they take physical form. Like he just knows it. Like where are these people getting their info? Like, do they have like ancient tomes in their fucking like garage that have the secret knowledge that none of us have about imaginary friends?
Let's talk about egregores and tulpas. So, if you're on spirituality talk or witch talk, you've probably heard a lot about egregores recently. These are both subjects that I find incredibly fascinating and have since I was like 15 or 16 years old. The first time I ever heard about what a tulpa was actually from a creepypasta, but real quick, let me give you the definition if you don't understand what these two entities are. So, they're both very similar. An egregore is a thought form or entity created by a mass amount of people focusing on a person or specific think like a good example would be like a Slender Man. Say someone actually saw something that looked like Slender Man out in the wild, right?
Of course these people love Slender Man. Yeah, like you've seen a fucking Slender Man entity in the forest. Of course you did.
After all of the stories about Slender Man kind of went around, that would be considered an egregore type of entity.
Yeah, this is the kind of shit that made those girls believe that Slender Man was real. And this is the kind of rhetoric that made them think and go out and fucking murder their best friend to sacrifice the Slender Man.
Then what would be the best method in dispersing it? Removing the energy that sustains it. Now, that
makes total sense.
Sounds very simple. But in reality, it is not necessarily an incredibly easy task.
Yeah, like you would know how easy or hard something like this is. Like they talk like this, like they know something we don't. It's so stupid.
If I told you that the reason that Project Bluebeam has become so mainstream is because it's always been a part of the PSYOP? And what if everything you think you know about the gray alien has
Am I being psyoped right now?
been mined by the shadow government that controls the narrative? Making the fake UFO disclosure and fake alien invasion just another layer of the deception to keep you from knowing the truth, which is, they're all tulpas, every one of them, and it always has been. Do a little thought experiment with me. We're going to start with our friend Uncle Sam. What was Uncle Sam's purpose? To motivate young men to join the military and prepare themselves to fight in war. For God's sakes, he's dressed in the American flag. Most people would just call this propaganda, but it's so much.
It's not propaganda. It's an imaginary friend.
Is a symbolic image that lived in the minds of millions of men and women in America and completely changed the way they behaved. It became a spirit that possessed them. And the very possession of that spirit caused them to act differently. Think about this. They put this image on a poster, a young man sees it, and maybe he just walked by the recruiter's office. And because he sees this image, he turns back around. It physically changes the way he behaves in the real world.
I must burn down villages. I must burn down villages. Stupid!
Alters his neuron firing. What is this but a spirit that possesses you? What is this but a tulpa? And here's where it gets really spooky. What is Jesus Christ? What is Krishna? What is Dagon? What is Yahweh? They're all the same thing. And don't worry, Christians, it's not to take away from the importance of Jesus Christ, because he's an incredibly important tulpa that puts so much good.
It's so disrespectful. Like I mean, I'm not a religious person, but him just being like, well, you know, just to let you know, that God you worship, he was created by us, and he's an important one. He's an important imaginary friend, but imaginary friend nonetheless.
Into the world, but that's not what Jesus.
We're banning you from our church.
Hey, so I'm just out here walking my dog, and I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw your post. And coincidence of coincidence, I just posted the other day. I have. Why are you spinning me in circles, Archer? A theory I have that pretty much all authors are tulpamancers. That when you create a character, that you spend so much time and energy writing character profiles and creating their attributes, their characteristics.
Yeah, I think this stuff is fine if you believe that it's fiction. It's awesome in fiction. Like, magic is cool, awesome. In fiction, it doesn't need to be real to become more amazing. Like, the things that people write are amazing. The things that people make in this world are amazing. I don't know why these people need to add another layer to it that, oh, they're actually real. They like, is it not amazing enough to you on its own? It dumbs down society by trying to make it something more than it is.
Who they are. I have a theory that most authors are actually creating tulpas, and my theory stems from a incident that happened almost a year and a half ago, where I was attacked. I was a victim of an assault, and I heard one of my longest standing characters, Cassie, in my head talking me through the situation, and I truly accredit my survival to her, and also sort of to my spouse, but you know.
Her spouse is like, what the fuck? I helped you from that attack. It wasn't Cassie in your head. I helped you. What the hell? Yeah, this is very adjacent to the girls that think they can hex people, that they think they can do a silly like string of events, you know, like putting a feather in a mortar and pestle or drawing a picture of someone and burning it, that they can make bad things happen to people they don't like with their mind. It's like, it's also very evil in a way. Like, these people are if you really think you can hex people that did you wrong, like, you'll see this a lot in this video. These people are just gonna keep explaining to you these things that they heard from another TikTok as if they're relaying this information to you for the first time. I'm the only one that's got the secrets. Buy my course.
Let's talk about when OP accidentally created a tulpa. This thread starts on October 30th, 2008. OP says, hey /X, I need your advice on something. /X is 4chan's paranormal board. He says that for an art project at his school, he was creating a creepy looking doll. To make this doll, he wrapped his body in tape multiple times until it became solid enough to stand on its own, and he cut it off of him. Then he put clothes, a blonde wig, and really messy makeup on her, and he finished a couple weeks before the project was due, so he was just gonna store the doll in the art teacher's classroom. Everyone at school was really creeped out by this doll, but I guess OP found it amusing to treat it as a real person. He even gave the doll a name, Carol. So he was probably talking to this doll and interacting with it every day. All week, Carol has been stored in the back corner of the class, until one morning they walk into the class and Carol is positioned right by the door, the complete opposite side of the room. Now obviously a lot of people are skeptical about this and they want pictures of the doll. OP and his friend are planning on destroying that doll the same day, and he says he'll take pictures then. And OP delivers. This is Carol, the alleged tulpa that OP created. If you don't know what a tulpa is, it's basically the idea that treating something like a doll as a real person will allow some sort of spirit or entity into our world, using the object, in this case the doll, as a vessel. OP says that after taking these pictures,
Like a weird ass thing to do.
Apart,
make that doll.
3 separate garbage bags, and then put those garbage bags in 3 separate dumpsters to stop the tulpa from potentially being able to reassemble itself. Now, did OP actually create a tulpa? I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But either way, he created a creepy ass doll, and I don't doubt that people thought it was haunted.
If only AI gooners knew that all they had to do was focus really, really hard, and that sentient fuck doll they've always wanted will become real.
Becca is Grace's tulpa.
What?
A sentient being that lives inside her body.
I created her.
You created Becca?
It's how tulpas work. First, you start with an image in your mind of a person or a character you might like. Then you spend some time with her each day. Eventually, she takes on a personality of her own. She becomes three-dimensional.
Huh. That's interesting.
So how do you know what Becca thinks?
That's pretty stupid.
I talk tricky at first. She likes to stay in the background, but lately she's been fronting more and more.
Fronting?
Oh, great.
My body.
Yeah, so all of this stuff is very interconnected with system talk. If you don't know what a system is, it's people that think they have different characters that can take control over their body inside of their mind, and they, basically so they can probably do dumb stuff and they don't have to feel embarrassed because that was Gangsta SpongeBob.
My muscles.
Not me.
My eyes. Wasn't always easy giving over total control like that, but you get used to it.
There's a website that teaches you how.
So is that what happened today in the car?
It's called TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
I let her drive. I shouldn't have. She's not very good at it.
All those people that I ran over, I shouldn't have let Gangsta SpongeBob drive my car. I really shouldn't have. All those people in that parade that I ran over, I really shouldn't have let him drive. I mean, I hope you guys, I know you can't really prosecute Gangsta SpongeBob in my head, but I'll see you guys later. Thanks for letting me go home.
Got into an argument and she got upset and lost control.
Which is why we decided.
And this isn't, and I'm not making fun of people that have real mental illness. Real DID and stuff like this does not emerge from people in this way. They don't have characters they've created. That it's usually their mind has been fractured from childhood abuse. That's usually how these sorts of mental illnesses come out of people, and no, they don't have any control over it, and it's very rare. So 20,000 girls on TikTok, no, it's just it's not happening.
That you, Grace, wouldn't see her anymore, right?
Right.
They're ready for Mrs. Scott and CT.
Okay. Well, very nice to meet you, Grace. We hope that both you and Becca are feeling better soon.
As long as scans are negative, I'll observe for a few hours, then you could admit her to psych.
Yep, admit her to psych ward. Yep, 5150 her. You're gonna have to 5150 that girl.
Okay, you're gonna want to hear this. People are creating
Am I?
imaginary friends that talk back to them, and they might be real. If you are neurodivergent like me or have some other type of mental health issue, this actually may be really useful for you, but consult with your therapist.
There's most certainly no therapist on the planet that's gonna tell you to start believing that these characters in your head are real. That therapist needs to lose his license if he's telling you to do this kind of stuff. If it helps you, whatever, but it can't be good, right? It can't be good to be thinking these people are real and then assuming, oh no, he's taking control. He's taking control. I'm about to do something crazy. I don't think this is good for people's mental health at all.
I always felt a sense of feeling very alone and creating these thought forms or beings in my head that I can talk to, and they sometimes will comfort me and give me advice that I do not think I could have thought of myself. Honestly, before I found out that
Plus, they're not giving themselves credit at all. They come up with a great way to cope that isn't this or some good idea that in their life, and they charge it to some tulpa, some sort of or whatever. I mean, like, have more like confidence in yourself. Like, your brain is amazing. Like, you can do amazing things. You don't need some spiritual fakery to, you know, have good ideas and stuff. I mean, like, come on. I mean, I'm glad it's working for you. I'm glad it's helping you with them in their bed.
Today we've got people in relationships with AI chatbots, or as I like to call them, AI tulpas. But in 1972, they had...
Is everything a tulpa? Well, it's everything a tulpa? Gray aliens are tulpas. Fucking AI is a tulpa now. And, like, I mean, you're also giving AI way too much credit. That chatbot is not smart enough to be some sort of being that has its own mind. I mean, it's like, it can hardly do fucking autocorrect correctly. Like,
it is one of the weirdest paranormal investigations of the 20th century. In 1972, a team of researchers out of Toronto decided to answer a question. Can you create a ghost using nothing but your imagination? The research was led by Dr. A.R.G. Owen, who was a mathematician and parapsychologist.
A.R.G.?
And the Toronto Society for Psychical Research.
Literally, this whole... his name is A.R.G. Owen. I think she looked up something that isn't real. Something that's an alternate reality game, and she's like, whoa, this study is crazy. I can't believe they did this.
In the theory that ghosts were not spirits of once-alive people, but instead manifestations of belief, emotions, and group consciousness. The group literally invented a ghost. Well, they started with a man and gave him a very detailed background. A disgraced knight, forbidden love, a sad ending in a stone tower. They created drawings, timelines, personal details, all to make Philip seem real. But it was all entirely fictional. Then they gathered for seances.
I think the whole thing altogether is fictional.
Spirit, but to see if they could will a ghost into existence. And for weeks, nothing happened. But they kept at it until something did happen.
Ooh.
The table began to shake. Participants reported raps, breezes, and whispers, and even responses to their questions in the form of knocking.
Yeah, all these fucking people were just like, I am so tired of doing this. We've been doing this dumb thing for hours, for weeks. And they just like hired their like brother to come in and knock on the window a couple times. All right, we found him. Can I please stop doing this, Professor? Please stop making us do this seance. Look, this guy again. Can I create an angelic Dragon Ball demon destroyer? Let's check these comments, man. Grand Rising, sir. W videos always. Since the beginning of the world, from Adam until John the Baptist, there is no one superior to John, that his eyes should not be lowered before him. Alright, now he's... well... Hello, King. I recently found I have a djinn following me from unintentionally creating it from a past life around 1775 BC. Do you think you could help me? This is some kid with an anime profile picture. Yeah, dude, you totally know about your past life from 175 BC. Get rid of it, please? Sorry if this is disrespectful, but I can't help myself. May I speak with your djinn? Please help me create a tulpa. Where do I find your link? Where do I find your course? Please tell me how to create an imaginary friend, please.
The esoteric and occult knows that they can get buried by the complexities of the spells, histories, mythologies, metaphysical mechanics, and so much more. Except the actual performing of magic is one of the simplest things you could possibly do. The first step, as it was told to me when I took San Pedro in Peru, is you must have
I bet you did.
A child. That is how you get San Pedro.
Heart of a child. You have to be a literal kid. You have to believe in things literal kids believe in. That's how you make a tulpa.
The second thing is to use your imagination in that childlike state. Because if you're
Gangsta SpongeBob's real! Gangsta SpongeBob's real!
Aha! Demon destroyer. Because you're too afraid and embarrassed to use your imagination. Because all your life...
Yeah, I'm too afraid and embarrassed to be embarrassing and afraid person.
Trump has an egregore. You can't hex him.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going after him. I'm going after everyone else.
What do you mean, everyone else? So if an egregore is an entity that is created by people's thoughts, feelings, and actions, like an act of worship,
I get it.
he cut off everyone from worshiping him. How so? What if there was a witch who created a spell that gave you the ability to gently bind the family members in your life who have been brainwashed to give him all of their adoration?
Yeah, now they're creating spells to make sure their mother stops supporting Trump. All right, they're in their fucking bedroom, fucking crushing up chicken bones and fucking drinking potions to hopefully get their mom to stop fucking liking Trump. I mean, you are insane. I hate to say it, but you're an insane person.
And instead, it caused them to go self-reflective. I'm listening. So if they're too busy reflecting on themselves and the thoughts, feelings, and actions that they've created and the relationships they've ruined, then no one's idolizing him, right? Okay, I see where you're going. And then we've essentially depowered his egregore. Okay. How do I help? How do I get this spell? I thought you'd never ask.
Buy my course.
It's gentle, there's no base.
So she definitely made this in Photoshop. Copyright Gray Galaxy. Yep, she made it. she created this spell. It's just obviously a bunch of occult imagery, black candles, a piece of paper, and a black pen. Make sure it's not a blue pen or it won't work. A mirror small enough to hold in your hands. A bowl of salt in a small bag or box. What's in the box?
Energy, so nothing's gonna come back and get you. But it will cause these people, these family members, his followers, to go self-reflective. They won't be giving him any energy. This spell is meant to guide them and not control them. We want them to reclaim their power from him on their own. Okay, but when do I cast it?
I'll give her credit for picking a good font, but yeah, other than that, you're just making this shit up. Making it up on the spot, like she has those evil tomes I was talking about in her fucking... I actually have evil tomes. You wouldn't believe it. I got those evil tomes. Buy my course, and I'll show you pictures of the evil tomes.
In the early 2000s, I was part of a vampire cult, and here is part 2 of the story time. Cult started off online on an old-timey internet forum, but it...
Hell yeah, dude. Mama Max. She was in Camden Gerard Davis's vampire cult.
Joseph Rogan. I'm calling you out, Joseph Rogan.
Is autism truly a spiritual gift rather than a disability?
See, these people don't understand physics at all. It's just like these fucking rods that people used to try and use to find ley lines back in the day are gonna tell me exactly why I'm autistic.
Is Jordan Peterson autistic?
I mean, I wouldn't think so, but after he said that, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, autistic people have very big dicks.
Yeah.
They're actually the guys that fuck the most.
It's actually gay to get pussy. It's a study that I've done. Recently, here at the University of Canada, I ran a study that says that if your dick is under 4 inches, it's actually big. And that if your dick is over 8, that it's small. And so if you're an autistic retard with a 4-inch dick, you're actually the smartest, most fuckable guy in the world. And if women don't...
Just a small little reminder for systems who support tulpamancy or are systems by tulpamancy, especially if you're white, you are actively supporting and participating in cultural appropriation. Like it or not, tulpamancy is a ripped off version of...
They always gotta bring politics into their dumb witchcraftery. They're just like, yeah, you're culturally appropriating. If you're trying to make imaginary friends, you're a cultural appropriator, and I wonder what this guy would say if he saw white girls with dreads.
I'm about to tell you why. These don't just represent forms of my energy, but they are literal energetic tulpas. Energies attached to
trying to explain why he has stuffed animals.
For example, when I'm
as an adult,
leaving my physical vessel, I like when something's monitoring the energy around me and just making me feel like my energy's protected. Or it could be to regulate the energy of a certain place and to just protect the energy there. I love traveling with them. Creating one is real easy. I'm about to show you. Number 1, decide what you want it to do. Do you want it to protect? Do you want it to regulate?
Please have a grill and fan money and live in Bikini Bottom.
What you want it to do. Number 2, piece in your mind what it looks like and what it feels like energetically, and then attach it to that physical object. Whether it's a damn stuffed animal, whether it's a statue, whatever it is, it's going to cling on to that physical object. Last thing, just recognize it every day and feel its energy every day.
He's just sitting there staring at his stuffed animals for hours. Please become real. Please become real. I mean, you don't have to explain to people why you like plushies, bro. You can just like plushies.
You're essentially creating a thought form here. And as you recognize it every day, you're building it, and you're building its strength and its personality. It's going to do everything you want it to do. You're going to be surprised when you go into the astral realm, you're going to see it there.
What? What is this guy seeing? Like, are you literally laying down and like seeing a fucking... it's just his imagination. Like, are you really like, what are you seeing when you think you're astrally projecting? He's astrally projecting into the creators of Big Mouth so they can finally write something that isn't fucking retarded.
If you're using ChatGPT and you think you're communicating with a spirit, little spirit man, I want you to Google what a tulpa is. And I want you to stop making tulpas and then putting them in your computer because...
Putting them in your computer. It's so funny, dude. It's so fucking funny. Yeah, AI. I mean, apparently AI has to be fucking something more than it is. Wow, it's so amazing. Yeah, not those engineers that worked years to make something. No, it's just fucking... It's because we made it into a imaginary friend. That's why AI is so impressive.
In front of you. You can... There's a tulpa standing right there. You see him? No, you probably don't, because you're not on my wavelength, little bitch.
You don't see him right there? You don't see him right there behind me? You a little bitch. Man, I'll fucking beat the shit out of you. I'll beat the brakes off you if you can't see that motherfucker right behind you. You ain't on my wavelength, little bitch.
Does Trump have an egregore that's protecting him?
Back with the Trump egregore thing. They really believe that something is going on with, like, that Trump has, like, a bunch of, like, wizards with cloaks on and candle circles in the Oval Office, creating, turning people's negative energy into his power that he can use to, you know. That's why he never apologizes, because he has an egregore.
Yes. Does everyone's egregore work the same?
Am I ever going to get a job? Am I ever going to fill out a job application? No.
Is everyone's egregore the same effectiveness? Yes. Is it more effective to do witchcraft when you have a piece of...
Looks like a fucking... It looks like an SS medallion. It's just like using Nazi memorabilia to... I would love to get like a comment from like someone who fucks with spiritual witchcraft and shit, and they're just like, dude, you wouldn't know jack shit about that coin, idiot. That's a Doge egregorious medallion, you dumb fuck.
We do that in regards to Trump. I think that's kind of already happening because of all the executive orders he's had to walk back on and avoid. But how do we as...
I mean, it's just confirmation bias. They're looking for anything in their life. They're looking through the people they hexed's Facebook profile to make sure that maybe something happened to them two months after you did this stupid hex. And yeah, now, oh, see? He got an offender bender. My hex worked. It's just it's confirming their bias. See, he's having to walk back executive orders, so I think
some of our magic is working.
Okay, now I'm seeing a lot of videos talking about Trump and the egregore and all that stuff, and I just want to say I've been talking about it for a long time. I actually made a very long YouTube video about it, and what I'm seeing on TikTok is that everyone is just saying, oh, he's protected by an egregore. But here's the thing. There's much more to it. An egregore will not only protect him. If you think of all these MAGA supporters that seem like they're in a cult, they're basically spellbound.
Politics has always been a cult, dude. People that will literally disown their own family members for not believing their political views or disagreeing with them. Like that's all. It's always been like that. Like these people have always been on a cult mindset. I mean, come on, it's like it ruins people. It ruins people if they let it.
Kind of consolidated effort now to like dismantle the egregore, and that is fucking awesome.
There's just people like getting together at their coffee shop and they just start lighting candles. Like, ma'am, you can't light a candle in here. The fire marshal won't let us do that. You need to stop. And they're like, shut up. We're trying to take down Trump's egregore. Oh my god. You fucking crazy person. Oh my god. No fucking way. No fucking goddamn way. They made a, like, if you're in your apartment making weird voodoo dolls, like really detailed voodoo dolls of politicians, I mean, you're already off to a bad start. But if you're only putting the pins into Trump's balls, he's just in his Oval Office like, getting a stinging pain in my balls all the time. What the hell is that about? It's just this woman's just cackling in her fucking basement, shoving needles into Trump's cock. No, that is really freaky, dude. I mean, it's actually pretty impressive. Like, that's pretty cool art. But, like, why do you have to make them about politicians?
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
She, like...
Alright,
it's pretty cool. If you can make art with that, I mean, that'd be awesome. But you don't need to, like, do it for people that really exist. And that's just gets weird at that point.
I did not know what an egregore was before this, but apparently it's the reason why curses do not affect Donald Trump. An egregore being a sort of artificial...
I hex you, Donald Trump. I hex you.
Thoughts and prayers. But if thoughts and prayers can create protection deities, why are kids still getting shot?
Okay. Alright, my man. So in closing, I think basically it's just a bunch of people that are really upset that the world isn't as interesting as the movies, and they really need it to be, you know, bigger and better and, you know, more interesting than than life can be. Life can be pretty, you know, upsetting and boring per se, but like there's so much beauty in the world and so much beauty inside of your head, and you don't need to believe that you're creating some sort of, you know, entity to, you know, make it legitimate. Like you can look at fiction and enjoy that kind of stuff, and you don't have to try and believe that it's real. It's basically the most childish thing ever. You need to have confidence in yourself, and you know, probably don't believe things you hear on TikTok. Just try to be a little more realistic in your life. You can believe whatever you want to believe, and hey, maybe I'm wrong. Hey, maybe someone's gonna create a tulpa and they're gonna come and nibble on my toes when I'm sleeping and spook me, but I don't think so. I doubt it. But hey, anyways, if you guys know any more cool and crazy Reddit stuff, subreddits, schizogram posters, or anything else I should cover next time, please let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I'm, you know, very happy I'm making videos more often now. I'm really trying to get better at it, trying to make more engaging stuff. You know, I want to entertain people at the end of the day. I love entertaining people. I just really want to, you know, entertain more people. You know, it's really hard to get this kind of stuff going. It's so your like and subscribe would really help. You know, get me a little bit further to that, you know, moment of having my little cult following, my little 3,000 followers that, you know, like to watch my videos. You know, that would really, you know, give my life a little bit more meaning without me having to create a realistic gangsta SpongeBob that smokes blunts with me in my room. So yeah, thank you so much, and Sea Blizzard leaving your presence and hexing you in my free time. Yeah.